Finally, the touch has come back to the #1 spot. That's right, Vinny and Marissa are anything but relaxing, losing 4 in a row, going from 1st to 5th in 4 weeks. After my 133.44 to 89.42 victory off of a spine-chilling performance by MG, my ghoul, Melvin Gordon, scaring up 27.4 fantasy points off of 132 yards rushing with a rushing touchdown with a 40-plus yard bonus. And 1 reception for 7 yards, capping off a scary good week for the touch, moving me up to 6-2. Now the ghost with the most points in first place. Vinman and Marissa fall to 4-4. Ken put together the highest weekly point total in our league so far this year, with 184.48 fantasy points to 156.56 over team. Hell yes. Man, look at that production. Look at all those. You've got the legs of a McCoy, the hands of a Kelsey, the foot of a Butker with a side of Kansas City Deef. You've got yourself a fantasy football witch's brew right there. But it's a little cold, so let's nuke it with Nuke Hopkins and his 39.4 fantasy points off of 8 receptions for 224 yards and a touchdown with that 40-plus yard bonus. It was a bewitching performance by DeAndre Hopkins, moving Ken up to 4th place at 4-4. That's a lot of 4s. Then we got Tracy, unfortunately, moving down to 9th place at 2-6. Boo! Cocky picks up a win this week as the Invisible Man. Wait, what? Oh, hold on. Let me read that again. Yeah, boo! Cocky got a win? How? Oh, I see. Anthony didn't want to drop anyone and pick up a replacement kicker in defense as Suckup and the Rams D were both on a bye. Anthony thought he'd have it easy on his boo cocky bye, but he got a little boo cocky there and lost 99.4 to 87.82, moving down to 7th at 3-5. And as usual, boo cocky is just a big boo waffle. And instead of the blowout, it's the monster of the week, as the champ, Reichel, Dak to the future, put up a monster match on Aaron's bitch, 142.92 to 57.78, with some good juju from Smith-Schuster, catching on with the flash. With his 97-yard dash, he went yard for a smash, with 7 receptions for 193 yards, and that touchdown with a bonus, working in the lab on 35.8 fantasy points, and an 85.14 point victory. The champ goes to 6-2, moving up to 2nd, and Aaron's bitch being dethroned, slipping to 3rd. Well, this week's Squeak of the Week was quite a thriller. And here to tell us about it is none other than Vincent Price.
Hello, boys and ghouls. This is Vincent Price. And boy, was it a thriller this week between Randy and Stan. Randy squealed in sheer delight as he had the lead Monday night, despite a 36-point performance from Russell Wilson terrorizing y'all's neighborhood. With 452 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, scampering for 30 rush yards. But on Monday night, Randy, as it seemed you'd escape with your life, your 3.3-point lead was crushed in garbage time by Demaryius Thomas's icy grip, sealing your doom and sealing a win for Tecmo Stan over Demolition, 111.18 to 105.32, with only a 5.86 margin of victory, moving Stan up to a 4-4 record in 6th place, and Randy fighting to stay alive at 3-5 in 8th place.
Can you dig it?
All right, thanks a lot, Mr. Price. Yeah, I wasn't going to try to do his laugh. Too iconic, and I would have butchered it, so you're welcome. But, Yep, that's it for the matchups this week, which means only one thing. Yep, we're about to highlight the tricks that could have been treats. That's right, we now take the time to salute the players on your pine, piling up fantasy points you'd rather have in your starting lineup in a segment we like to call On Your Bench! Let's start with the thriller of the week, Demolition. Randy, you started the Pittsburgh defense in Detroit over the New England defense at home? What were you thinking, man? If you were going to be a homer, you should have started the Rainier Wolfcastle of the NFL. Ben I can't do it. I just can't bring myself to not call him Rapin' Herder, who put up 21.48 fantasy points, over 8 more than Carr, which would have been good enough for the win by the Skinner of your teeth, and would have been a treehouse of horror for Stan. But instead, Randy, you were less of a Homer Simpson and more of an O.J. Simpson, murdering the chances of you winning with Rapin' Herder on your bench!
Ay, caramba!
Hey, before I show the next one, I just want to let you know I recorded it before the news of Deshaun Watson's ACL tear. So, I guess the advice here is irrelevant, but enjoy. Hey, Reichel, Champ, Back to the Future. Look at Deshaun Watson with his 45.78 fantasy points sitting on your pine. But you got the blowout of the week this week, so you're safe, right? Dead wrong. Well, you started Dak Prescott. The 45.78 fantasy points from Watson were rotting like zombie flesh in your reserves. Hey, Dak to the Future. Maybe you should change your team name to Deshaun of the Dead and permanently plant Watson in your starting QB position for the rest of the season instead of letting him rot on your bench. But the on your bench all-star this week is Tracy. Team Hell Yes. You had the second most fantasy points this week, but unfortunately you faced Ken, who had the most. Tough luck. But you had the most fantasy points on your bench with 78.06. Your starting lineup was full of points, but it could have been fuller, as in Will Fuller, who rode your pine with 34 fantasy points. Combine that with 20.8 fantasy points from Lamar Miller, in which you could have had the win. But it passed you by like the Great Pumpkin. Your starting lineup just wasn't sincere enough, as the pair of Texans weren't in it. So instead of rising to the occasion, you fell flat, leaving Fuller and Miller out in the cold on your bench!
You blockhead!
Well, that's it this week. I hope you all had a happy Halloween. Don't forget to scour the waiver wire, make some trades, set your lineups, and hey, why not a little trash talk? Am I the only one who's going to do it this year? Come on now. Don't leave me hanging. I'd like to see some more. Also, I just put out that poll I said I was going to put out last week. I got busy. So go ahead and, get out the vote there. And yeah, good luck to everyone this week. Aaron's bitch, it's your turn. Stay tuned.